Hello to all our YouTube listeners. This section is specifically for you guys. It wasn't on the regular version of the show. It's just on the YouTube video for you guys because I have a question specifically for all our listeners on Comic Frontline. Please leave a comment below or email us at zone4@comicrelated.com. Basically, I want to ask you guys a question. I've gotten some comments about audio podcasts on this channel. People like the videos, not so much the audio, and I understand that. So, what I want to know is all the listeners that listen to Zone 4 right here on Comic Frontline, would you still listen to the show if Zone 4 moved over to the Zone 4 podcast channel, which we do have a YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/Zone4podcast. You can head over there and subscribe. Hall of Toys, as you may or may not know, is already moving over there. Not with the next episode, but the episode after that, I believe. And I'm thinking about Zone 4 too, after we hit the big 300, possibly moving it over there. So I would love to get your feedback, see what you guys think, if you'd still follow us. Obviously, I'm still going to be on Comic Frontline doing content over there, videos and whatnot, and maybe I'll include some kind of Zone 4 tie-in on the main channel. Maybe it'll be video, maybe it'll be audio, but there will still always be that Zone 4 connection on Comic Frontline. But yeah, I just want to know if you guys would still listen to the show if it did move over to the Zone 4 podcast channel, or if you guys would seek it out by other means, because the show is available on iTunes. It's available on zone4podcast.com, on comicrelated.com, on Stitcher, on comicspodcasts.com. You can find it in many places. So please, once again, leave a comment in the comment section below, or email us at zone4@comicrelated.com. Please, I'd love to get your feedback on this very important question. So thanks for listening, and now on to the show. What you are about to hear is highly classified. Pay attention and listen at all times. And most importantly, remember, if you read over 100 comic titles every month and watch over 20 shows consistently, you may just have a little bit too much time on your hands. Or you're really good at time management. Or you're just a super comic and pop culture fan, like CR's own Chuck Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering Zone 4. And welcome back to the Zone. I'm Brant Fowler.
I'm John Wilson.
I would still be Chuck Moore.
And that's all we got for this week.
Yep. Cheers. See you guys. Suck it. Okay.
Yeah, we got no fourth host. We figured, there's this thing going on that's, comic related. This site that you may have heard of, may not have. Been around for a few years. Kind of celebrating some kind of event, right? Something's going on.
It's nothing important.
You know what's funny, Brant? When you messaged me and you said, "So guys, we're like 13 days away from the 10-year anniversary of CR. What are we doing?" That was the first I realized the 10-year anniversary.
That is hilarious.
He's on the ball, that one.
Yep.
Oh, but yeah, 10 years. Yeah, 10-year anniversary of comicrelated.com.
Woohoo.
And all day yesterday, well, this goes live Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Chuck, you've been pumping out stuff.
Yeah, it was more yesterday than today. I got busy today, but
right.
I'm going to pump the site some more starting tomorrow. That's for certain.
Awesome.
That doesn't sound right.
I know.
But we'll talk about more about Comic Related in just a second. We should mention, as soon as I finish chewing the stupid candy corn, that we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us each and every week on comicspodcasts.com, along with a bunch of other shows, including several shows that also appear on Comic Related. So, check them out.
Well, careful not to lose any teeth chewing that candy. That would be the second person that I've had chew candy day and lose teeth. So,
really?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm
hoping it's a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, Toby had a loose tooth, and he was like really nervous. He didn't want to pull it out, but he also didn't. It was really bothering him. So I have this really like chewy candy, and I thought, oh, this will work. Yep. I said, here, Toby, you want a piece of candy? And I waited like within 2 minutes. Like, I lost my tooth. Yes, I am a genius.
Yep, that would do it every time. Oh man. Okay, I'm done with the candy corn.
Yeah, we
All
can
gone.
still hear it.
And actually, I probably should have ate that before the podcast, but, hey, that's how we do things here on Zone 4.
Uh-huh.
Why bother?
Yeah, exactly. So, comic related, 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Man.
Arguably, as I accidentally discovered as I was digging through the history, arguably potentially 16, but we're gonna stand with 10. But.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned that on Facebook and social media.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell the story a little bit better in this secret history of CR, because I started finding all these old documents, and I really started digging yesterday, and it led to a dig that I probably would have had more content on the website if I hadn't got so obsessed with digging through the history. But no, I discovered, and it was like, you forget things you did. And I knew I got the domain for comicrelated.com about, I thought it was a decade, but it was actually about six and a half years prior to launching the website. And when I got the domain, I was going to do it as a retail website. And I didn't realize until just yesterday, I'd forgotten I'd put up a test page like 2 months after I bought the domain, saying everything I was going to do and telegraphing it before I'd even started building. I'd never really built much of a website, hardly at all at that point. And I started telegraphing it, and there are actual dates, and I actually revised that page 2 times with here's what we're going to be doing, here's how it's evolving, here's how the rules are going to play out. And then about 2 months later, I took it down. And then it sat for roughly 6 years until the real Comic Related was born. So
that's crazy.
Funny, yeah. I just stumbled upon that. I looked at the date and I'm like, oh my God, I remember this now.
Yeah, I don't think I even knew that.
I didn't. I didn't know what to tell you guys. I hadn't seen it since before I knew you. So.
That's true, yeah. I mean, I knew you had the domain for a while. Like I think you told us that, but yeah. When you posted that picture with the green, I was like, wow, I've never seen that before. What's going on?
I'm pulling some crazy stuff out from the history, and I love just seeing some of this, because I was obsessive about backing up websites. Mm-hmm. So I have copies of this website about I've given up in the last 5 years or so, but up to the 5-year mark, I'd say every 2 to 3 months I had copies of the website. And what that did was it grabbed the face page with the news stories at that moment. And it became this neat little time capsule you dig up in your backyard, looking at Comic Related over the years and subtle changes and different things. And I monkeyed with it a hell of a lot before Eric Adams actually settled on it for me. So
right. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's why I was getting all confused. I thought we totally missed our puberty.
Yeah, we jumped right through puberty. We aged like those fairy folk on True Blood, which I've been watching the hell out of. Yeah. I was on the 3rd season of True Blood, and once I heard it ended, I've gone back, and now I'm all the way into the last season now. I've watched all of it over the last couple weeks, but not that really matters to anybody. But.
Oh, it does to me. I'm still trying to catch up.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm not sure the 7th season start, but everything up to it, I thought it was pretty phenomenal through the 6th season.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think I've only watched a few episodes of this final season so far.
Oh wow, so you're that far ahead. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I binged on it right before I moved.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Yeah. But no, CR, some things that are going to be part of the celebration. Of course, I don't know if it's going to be it's probably just going to be a single article, The Secret History of CR, but I thought it was kind of fun to throw up yesterday. But I'm going to do, basically, I have every photo we've ever snapped at a show, and editing out, some personal stuff that may have happened at shows that I don't want out there on Facebook. I'm in those galleries I'm putting up on Facebook is every photo that was taken, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because Facebook doesn't care. So I figure there may be something in some of those photos from, especially 2005, 2007, that period. I was surprised how many people I got to know later that I'd snapped pictures of that early, and it's that how you kind of pass people in life and don't really realize how they're going to be big in your life later on. And I'm getting a lot of that as I'm putting up those galleries. But I plan to actually go through over time and put up every photo that's ever been taken for CR for the most part on Facebook, on our Facebook page, in a series of flashbook galleries. I don't know that I'll make it all in October, but we'll see how far we get.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a lot of pictures.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. And, it was getting some good traction yesterday. There were people retweeting it. Sean Forney was all excited, and I saw him liking stuff. And it was, if you were at that show, it's kind of fun to look back and see yourself or people who are sitting around you. Or it's just, I found it to be pretty fascinating to do. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. File that under stuff I want to do and see how long it takes me to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking over some of those screenshots of the site, and I remember the yellow, but I don't think I ever saw it with this bubbly logo. I think I saw it with the oval-shaped logo.
Yeah. The green actually was pretty short-lived. That one was only a couple months. I think by the time we launched in October, and I think by the time you get to Christmas, it's gone, and it's that more comic. And that's actually, believe it or not, that's a screenshot. That was just a photograph of my comics. So a pile of my comics sitting out, and then I cut it and just kind of made it into a wallpaper type design, and then cut it for what I needed. But all that was hard-coded HTML. As you said many times, I was hard-coding everything back then. So manually moving the stories, it's just crazy.
Yeah, you were insane.
Same for, I don't remember what year we actually transitioned over to the really new, the latest.
2008.
2008?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I did that for 4 years.
Yep.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, it was late in 2008 too. Well, obviously, it was I think it was around the anniversary, wasn't it? It was like November or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. I think we were targeting the anniversary, but
Yeah.
Coding takes time.
Exactly. But man, it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It's been fun. And I feel like, I feel like we've had our heydays, we've had our downtimes. I feel like we're back in a heyday right now. I feel like we're doing some of the best stuff we've ever done. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I feel good just because I feel like I'm doing something with this. I mean, I'm doing a lot of the social media right now, and I feel like that's having a hopeful impact. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, I think it absolutely is.
Makes me get to do it.
Yeah, we won't go into all the downtime stuff, but we've definitely had some adventures. Quite a few adventures some adventures that nobody will ever hear about.
Yeah, most of which I'm responsible for.
Nah, not true at all.
Not completely.
No.
There's a bus, I'll throw myself under it. You know that.
Oh man. So what's John?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I came onto the site first, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, not too long before, because I remember. I think it was at Heroes Con, wasn't it, that we decided to make John a partner? 2009?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure you came up to me, or maybe it was before that. Maybe that was about something else. It was around that time, though. It was like somewhere mid-2009, maybe?
Yeah. It's on the my Facebook timeline. I've tagged all those events in, but me and timelines suck. I mean, hell, I just discovered I had an early version of CR. I didn't even remember.
That's true.
And you're asking me to place a date?
No. I'm trying to think back, how we all came together and everything. We've told these stories on podcasts before, so we won't go bore people with those details.
Yeah. I can place the place, but not the date.
Yeah. I know that the weird thing, and we've talked about this too, is, when we all went to Wizard World Chicago 2008, that was my first con, and we were all three there, I think, but I never met John there, which was a weird thing.
Oh, yeah, I was hanging out with Bob and Bill Nichols at the sketch thing, and we had an adjacent table of people who hung out in our forums.
Yeah.
Were nearby selling art stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird.
They had all done.
Yeah, it's weird to think. I think Ringtail Cafe was there, and I didn't meet them there.
Yeah.
And Tom was there, yeah. And Chuck, you and I mean, that's the first time we'd met in person.
Yeah, I know. And we've been kind of talking and doing stuff for a long time prior to that, as many people know. The one fun thing for me I discovered yesterday is how wrong I am about some of our own history. Just little tidbits that I had no idea. I didn't realize until, I was shocked when I started putting up those Chicago Comic-Con photos yesterday that Wizard owned it at that point. I thought in my mind I had been going to Chicago Comic-Con long before Wizard owned it, and I've even had conversation with people about how great it was prior to Wizard owning it.
Yeah.
Well, those great years were Wizard. I was just shocked. My first year I went, there's the big Wizard arch at the entry. I'm like, my God, I've been wrong all this time.
Yeah, because I stopped going when Wizard bought it. I was going in the 90s.
Wow.
And I stopped going when Wizard bought it. In 2008 was the first year that I went back.
Yeah.
Or was it 2008?
It was.
Yeah,
it was the
I
year
went by myself in 2007.
Yeah, okay. It was the year Mike Turner died.
Yeah, that was 2008.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 2008.
Mm-hmm. And things like, I've always sworn, now I still don't even know. I think I swore that my first podcast was from space for a long time, and then I eventually learned it was, I think, from Jim City, or I've got that the other way around. I don't know. But where I did those first interviews.
Jim City.
Yeah. It's surprising how the mind alters the history as you go. And it's only through photographs, and I'm digging. Maybe it's just my mind. I got a crap memory.
Either way, they're memories.
I can't remember last week, so,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Rachel's still waiting for me to figure out how my way around Cincinnati, and I've been here almost 3 years. So
that's pretty bad, Chuck.
Hey, that's why you have a GPS, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, with all your tech, you have like 10.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Where do you guys think it's headed?
Good question.
I don't know. I mean, I was listening to NPR this morning, and they're talking about how they had this whole thing about the death of websites, kind of how so many brands are pushing everybody towards the mobile app rather than the website these days. Because, well, in that article they were saying because they could collect so much more personal information from the mobile app because it's got to link into all these different things. But it's just funny to hear, major corporations and moving away from web pages. I still love them. I still use them, but
yeah, I do too.
I use probably more. I get more from social media, though, I got to admit. But
yeah, I'm curious about how many people actually go to a site as opposed to subscribing to a feed or watching the links pop up on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah. And for those who subscribe to our RSS feed, it does work some of the time. Trust me, folks. It's the funny thing, behind the scenes coding stuff at CR, that RSS feed works so long as there's not an and sign in any of the stories on the front page of the website. And it'll work all the way to the point of the story where it has the and sign in it.
Oh.
But and sign blocks the RSS feed every time and gives it an error.
That's something that would have been good to know.
Yeah.
Mention that.
I had no idea. All these years.
Well, I only figured it out recently. I think I knew it at one time, but forgot.
We don't even know how to use our own site. That's pretty bad. Just the RSS, I know.
Idiocracy is live and well.
I don't know. I don't use RSS for anything, so it's not something I'm familiar
once
with.
Google dropped their RSS reader, it really had a ripple effect across the industry. I mean, once they shut that down, everybody had to go to third party. Everybody kind of gave up. Now, the one thing is like Flipboard and some stuff on iPads that are really popular. Those do utilize RSS feeds. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where I'm going with this discussion. I'm like all over the map.
That's all good. It's just we wanted to extend the celebration of comic related 10th anniversary to Zone 4 because Zone 4, has obviously been on comic related since it began.
Yeah.
It was one of the the 3 or 4 original podcasts on comic related after the recap, and I think speaking of memory and all that stuff and not getting things right. For the longest time, Chuck, I know you and I thought that Zone 4 was the second podcast, and actually Why I Love Comics debuted first. So. That's
true, because it turned out I saw that recently in the feed of past shows of the recap.
Mm-hmm.
Because we would always do, but in the early days we would debut them in the recap's RSS feed, and then once they proved that they were successful, we'd break them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just by like a week or two.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been much.
Yeah. But that's okay because Zone 4 stayed consistent. Why I Love Comics relaunched a couple of times. So there.
Yeah. So
Has Zone 4 ever missed a Friday? I know you guys had a long record for a long time, and it's probably the most consistent show that's ever been.
We don't like to
we
talk
never
about
missed
it.
a week. Yeah, we never missed a week.
Okay.
But
That's
all that matters.
There was a time when my power went out and I could not upload it on the Friday.
Yeah.
So we missed that Friday, and that happened sometime late last year. So we went almost, 5 years. Well, no, we went over 5 years.
That's awesome.
Maybe it was earlier this year. I don't remember. It was one time though. So other than that, yeah, we've had an episode every week.
Nice. Yeah, I've done that with the Charlie Tonic Hour, but I actually have one accident. I can no longer say it's always, I've never missed a Wednesday. And I have never missed a Wednesday, but there was 1 week that I actually lost track of what day of the week it was and took it live on Tuesday. And didn't know, well, I was traveling the next day, and I'm like, and we're talking, it's like, so how's your Wednesday going? Wednesday? No, it's not Wednesday. The podcast went live yesterday. She said that was Tuesday. I'm like, oops.
Oh man. Well, see, you were early though.
Yeah. I guess that still counts as yeah.
Yeah, it was up on Wednesday, so you didn't miss the Wednesday.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, it went late enough in the day that I think maybe you could look somewhere in the world that I was on the right day. That's what I'm hoping.
Maybe it was Wednesday in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's how I always justify it. Like if I'm really late on a Friday, I'm like, it's still midnight on the West Coast. It's fine, whatever.
It almost happened yesterday. I was so caught up in doing the comic related 10th anniversary stuff. Mm-hmm. That was like I was like a man in a tunnel yesterday on that stuff. I didn't think about anything else except for little one who was here with me sick, but I didn't think about much else. And I went up to buy a couch at IKEA, and I came back. I'm driving back, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Wednesday. I haven't built a show. I haven't put it together. I mean, we recorded it early in the week, but I'm like, I haven't done anything. I almost got it yesterday. So
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I've done it too. I've gotten close to doing it. I almost did it with Hall of Toys this past Tuesday. I was like, I knew I had to do it, but I went to sleep, and I was like, I woke up, and I was like, oh, I got to do a podcast.
It's a dedication too, because I started on it, and then neighbors were having a grill out with some hot dogs, and I literally ran down the street, stuck a hot dog on the fire, put it on a bun, came back and ate my hot dog here at the house.
That's a way to be social.
Only you, Chuck. Yeah. That's a classic Chuck, right?
Well, we were having sauerkraut and spitzel. I wasn't gonna miss it.
That Trident you put the hot dog on looked long enough that it could have probably gone back to the house.
I know. It
could have just turned it a couple of times every few minutes.
And I had actually the subtle one. There was a four prong one that was doing. There were 4 marshmallows at once. Wow. Yeah. Then we learned little Charlotte prefers to just burn the marshmallows, and it was kind of funny. But
I much if they're on a grill, I much prefer to burn the marshmallows.
Yeah.
And then eat them.
Mm-hmm. And they had this, now I'm going all Charlie Tonic on you, but they had this, it was like a chocolate that was had a hot sauce in it, like a southern spiced chocolate that they were doing s'mores with. Oh my God. Oh yeah. So yeah, like graham cracker, marshmallow, and spiced chocolate.
Oh, you're making me hungry now.
So we're celebrating all month. We're going to have history. We're going to have more galleries. We're going to tell secret stories, and I don't know. We haven't figured out much else, but we'll figure out more stuff. I'm sure. We got a whole month.
No, we agreed we couldn't talk about that stuff, Chuck.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
I'm not telling any secret stories. I don't know what you're telling.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. What happens in the CR studio stays in the CR studio.
Yeah.
Oh man, no!
It's always remember my name.
Aunt May's floppy bits.
You bet.
Oh yeah, there's monkey.
Oh shoot. Anyway,
that Rich Johnson knows something about
it. Yeah, sure.
Let's bring up all the things.
Much like everything else he does on his site, it was just a rumor.
Exactly.
Oh man. I was going to say something I totally lost it, but yeah. No, yeah, month long, we figured we would just extend it throughout the month and everything and have fun with it. And, we can mix things up too because, it's Halloween later in the month too, and we can, I don't know, we'll figure out something to have fun with.
Absolutely. You better believe it. Yep, and I'm going to New York. Who knows what I'm going to come back with from there. So.
That's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. Speaking of that real quick, that's a nice little segue because that's what, next weekend, right?
Actually, I fly out on Thursday morning. Yeah, I had actually we're staying longer than we originally intended because of cheap rates on flights. But I'm going to be arriving in New York Thursday morning. I'll actually be there like early afternoon, and I'm not flying back out now until the following Monday.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we're gonna. I mean, it's Jenny Tonic, aka Rachel, however you know her. My podcasting and partner in life. It's her. She's never been to New York in her life. So,
oh wow.
So we're gonna take the edges and turn it into a little bit more of an experience for her too. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I thought you were only going to be there on the weekend.
Yeah, nope. I'm going to be there the whole daggone time.
Nice.
Yep. And thank you, Reed Pop. I already have my credentials in hand. They did finally arrive, so yay.
Awesome.
I know my mailbox has been flooded with interview stuff. So.
I know. I've had a lot of it too. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities up there.
Mm-hmm. And also, Stephen from the UK is going to be there on Comic Related's behalf too. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice.
Yeah, nice. I know he's got an interview set up with the Legend of Korra people.
Cool.
So yeah, that'd be fun. I wish I could be there.
Yeah.
I've never been to New York either.
My total number of interviews scheduled so far is 0, but I'll get there. I'll get there.
I got faith in you. So, what have you guys been reading lately?
Oh, let me pull up my list.
What haven't you been reading, Chuck?
And actually, I'm remarkably. There was a point where I was 1 week away from everything I was reading, and let's see, I'm reading 48 Marvel titles.
Wow.
30 DC titles, everything Valiant produces, including the stuff that's coming out of Acclaim, or whatever the other one is. Not Acclaim. It's what's the studio that's doing like the Dr. Spectre and Magnus? Dynamite, yeah. And I'm reading 30 like everything else. So, and really, So I'm staying pretty caught up. I've let Marvel slide. And because I really want to read Marvel, and that's my motivation to get caught up on the other type titles. But let's let John, because I've got a list of things to share.
Now, mine is much, much shorter. I have 2 right now that I read this last week. That's it.
Wow. So what did you read?
I read the Future's End issues of Harley Quinn and Aquaman.
Oh, okay. I read both of those.
Yeah. Aquaman was okay.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't great. They kind of went for the obvious thing, and if you haven't read it, spoilers. They resurrected Atlan again, rather.
Right.
Yeah.
And he and Mira are on the outs, and he's apparently currently with the Jungle Queen lady. I'm a little behind on the regular Aquaman title, so.
Me too.
He's apparently with the Jungle Lady from his Others team.
Right.
Yeah, I gave up on Others. I stuck with Aquaman.
Yeah, me too.
I can't get into the Others story either.
And Mira is with the Resistant. He's trying to create a Atlantis island to give Atlantis some visibility. It was damaged during the war that they had with Apocalypse a while back. He's trying to get them some visibility and some help, and he, wants the Atlanteans to kind of integrate into human society a little bit more. And there's a large dissident party, and Mira happens to be part of that party.
Right.
And they resurrected Atlan, the dead king, quote unquote.
Yeah, the one that sank Atlantis in the first place.
Yeah, the one that sank Atlantis way back in the day. And now that's pretty much where it ended. So now they have to deal with that. The other thing was Harley Quinn. It was kind of a goofy story, but it was fun. She was riding in the baggage area of a plane, and apparently couple of Sharknadoes took it down. and she ends up on this desert island where, she immediately starts hallucinating. And it's actually a little confusing about which part's hallucination and which part's real. because it seems like she meets some villagers that kind of make her queen.
Yeah, which is a very cliche thing. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a very, very cliche thing. And then, of course, she thinks she's found Joker there, who is supposedly king. And then, they supposedly have to get married, and Harley's supposed to be thrown into the
volcano, of course.
Volcano, of course. And she's kicking his butt. It's like, you're not throwing me in the volcano, and all this other stuff, and it blows up. She lands back on the beach. Turns out that Joker probably was never there, nor maybe were the villagers. She's still having a conversation with the dead skull of
the beaver,
that she's been carrying around for a while.
Yep.
And supposedly Aquaman pops up at the end and offers to take her back to New York.
Yep.
But this too could all be part of her fevered brain thing.
It was weird. It was cliche. That's why I didn't. It was fun. It was cute, but yeah. It was like so cliched. I was like, really? They're gonna go this route with that?
Now, is Palmiotti still doing it?
Yeah.
It's still Palmiotti.
It was fantastic art, though. I will say that.
Oh yeah, I love the art. It was very nice. And I have some other Futures in titles, but I haven't read them yet. So.
Gotcha.
Well, so I just did the math. It's 126 titles I'm reading currently every month.
All right, talk, and I'll step 2 o'clock. I'm only 3 months behind on my Marvels. I'm completely caught up. 2 last week with DC, Valiant, and most of my other inactives. Marvel's the only one. I'm only 3 months behind on most of those titles, so I'm doing pretty damn good reading comics.
I'll say.
Yeah, I got in a nice habit of reading like 4 or 5 before I go to bed each night, so it's a nice way to kind of fall asleep. But let's see. So DC, I'll cover just a couple. I'm gonna leave Marvel completely off because I'm behind on that. So I don't know anything about Edge of the Spider-Verse or Death of Wolverine or anything that's going on there.
Let me interject real quick, Chuck. If you're going to read the Edge of the Spider-Verse miniseries, the 5-issue miniseries, the second issue is a Gwen Stacy issue. Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman. It is fantastic.
I got all 3 of them ready to rock. I just haven't got to read them yet. Cool. I'm absolutely not missing those. It looks great, especially all the art coming out of it just looks phenomenal. Right. But I will say, Spider-Man 2099. That's been thrown into the present, that series they're doing right now. I've been kind of enjoying it for an odd off Spider-Man, but
it's not it's pretty good.
Yeah. Excuse me, voice go badly. Bye. Now, one thing I will criticize Marvel a little bit for is I'm really getting quickly tired of, okay, we like the X-Men, so every X-Men character gets their own series.
Yeah.
Or, I'm waiting for them to blow up and Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, now we got all these individual stuff being Legendary Star-Lord and all these. I'm reading them, but I really don't need my numbers to increase like that.
Right.
So,
and everybody and their grandmother's in the Avengers.
Yeah, we don't need a Cyclops book, a Storm book, a Nightcrawler book. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I dropped the Storm immediately. Nightcrawler's about to go. I have to admit, I love the Cyclops one. So far, it's been strong. But it's the kids Cyclops, and I'm just a sucker for that whole storyline.
Right.
So DC, I'm surprised. I kind of thought a lot about DC over the last week because it's like, everybody's okay. We've jumped into the future, but who's to say when DC is anchored in our actual timeline? You could say we jumped into the future with Future's End, or you can say we've been reading in the past all this time. I don't know. I haven't read enough to know where the hell they're going with all this. That's been one of my big things is where the heck are we going with all this? Because, we've got Batman Eternal, which is telling its own story in its own timeline. Kind of, we got the Future's End stuff going on. Everybody's in different timeline. Unless Booster Gold comes and gives everybody a big old hickey, this isn't coming back together very easily. So,
well, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, please.
Did you read the Booster Gold Futures In book?
I have not. No, that one it looked interesting, but I gotta admit, not to rag on a writer, but what's his name? I'm blanking. Dan
Jurgens?
Yeah, Russ's old buddy. I there's something. It's him and Alan, like Alan Davis' style, Dan Jurgens' style. For some reason, I know people love them. It's never resonated with me all that deeply. So, but if it's critical to all this, I'll go grab it and read it. But
it's all right.
Spoil away.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's the pre-New 52 Booster Gold in the New 52 universe. He meets the New 52 Booster Gold, so it's the first time they've ever established that the pre-New 52 still exists somewhere.
Nice. Very nice. Wow. So this is all going to... is this the next 0 hour? Are we coming up on the big collapse where it all falls back into place? But we'll
Quite
see.
possibly, yeah. These weekly series end in April, I think.
Okay.
So,
well, the funny thing is, so I somehow in my adult brain confused Justice League 2000 or 3000 or whatever it is with New 52 Futures End, and I read the first couple issues of that Justice League 3000 and hated it, so I put it on the shelf. But I also accidentally put new, and then when the Futures End stuff really started to come to light, I'm like, oh wait, that was a weekly series I should have been reading. So I read like 20 issues in 1 week.
Wow.
To catch up, and I gotta admit, I've been it's okay, it's pretty good, but some surprising ones like Star Spangled War Stories, I'm loving.
That's what I heard. We on the Frontline live show. Mike
really
Spider Slayer.
Surprised.
Yeah, it was like in his top 5.
Yeah, it's really good. It's gritty. It's as surprising as it would be as a recommendation. If anybody out there loves watching Sons of Anarchy. It is a zombie, but it has that edge of Sons of Anarchy, and it's playful, and it goes places that are kind of sick and twisted, and it's fun. I got to admit, I like it.
I'm gonna have to give it a try. Yeah.
It's a standout title for me. I don't know that it would be your cup of tea, Brant, but so if you don't like it, don't blame me too hard. But I do dig it. But yeah, so really everything is Futures End right now. So I just talked about Futures End, so I'll skip on to Valiant. Stand out at Valiant for me, Harbinger's Origins or Omegas. The Omega miniseries. I just love the interplay and all the coverage they're giving Harada and that and the focus. Quite honestly, the whole Armor Hunters thing was good. It wasn't great, but I thought it was well handled. But
gotcha.
Yeah. Others, non-relateds, a couple standouts I want to throw a shout out to. Hexed, the return of Hexed at Boom Studios. That actually led me to read the earlier series that was done, and it was done by Michael something, I forget his name. I interviewed him, great guy, and I'm blanking on his name, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk long enough for Brant to look it up, but
you don't hear loud tapping in the background.
No, not at all.
Anyway, Hexed is solid. It's a nice little kind of otherworldly, playful, sorcery kind of comic that's fun. It had a really well-received early miniseries. It's been a long time since that series. That early miniseries was phenomenal. This one's good.
Michael Allen Nelson.
Michael Allen Nelson. I've interviewed him a couple times. He's a great writer. I've liked a lot of stuff he's done over the years. Letter 44, very surprising, from Image Comics. Love it. Basically, the concept is the letter that the president leaves for the next president each time. This is an outgoing Bush. Doesn't say it's Bush, but he's leaving a letter and he basically tells him that all the conflicts we've done from the United States, including the Iraq War and everything else, were just to get us hardened and seasoned because we've discovered a gun being built outside of Mars. And by the way, we sent a team about 5 years ago. They're about to land. We think there's going to be an alien invasion. Good luck. And I'll be on my ranch. I don't want to hear from you.
Yeah. I do have to interject. It's Oni Press that does that book.
Oh, it's Oni? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to, in case they listen.
Yeah, Oni. Yes, God, yes, Oni. Thank you.
Yeah, they do some good stuff, Oni does.
Oh, my God, they do. Yes. So that has been a phenomenally enjoyable series. It feels more like sci-fi, like the deep space movies we've been seeing lately, because you're hearing the story of what's going on. I mean, one of the crew members, the only woman on board, got pregnant during this whole trip across the stars, and they haven't told Mission Control back home that this has happened. Just all kinds of things are interesting in that series. But Rotten Ruin is another one. I don't know who it's by. I don't remember. There's a New York Times selling writer who is writing it, and I think it's one of his first forays into comics. But The Rotten Ruin, okay, we've seen a lot of zombie apocalypse series. What I like about Rotten Ruin is this is like 15 years down the road after the zombie apocalypse, and the zombies have won, and there are some last outposts of humanity around the world. And it is kind of the story of what life is like. Like, this kid was a baby when the zombie apocalypse happened, and his brother kind of shepherded him through it, and he's in his teenage years, and it's like kind of looking at life on down the road when the human race is near extinction. And I thought really fascinating.
Cool.
Rare that you get kind of a fresh twist on zombie culture, but I thought that was.
That is by IDW, by the way. And,
oh, cool.
I just looked. I didn't realize this was the writer that does the comic. He actually wrote a novel under the same name. So.
Oh, yeah, I think that was his big thing in the notes. It's like New York Times best-selling novelist or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
One bandwagon that I've jumped on that everybody and their brother, and literally I was at Cincy Comic-Con, and I mentioned I wasn't reading this series, and I got 3 people standing in front of my table, jaw drop, all simultaneously going, what the hell are you not reading this for? It's the best thing in comics. And that would be Saga. Which I had never read a single issue of, and I am burning through so fast because it is so good and so freaky and so different. And, it's by that little guy who did Y the Last Man and Ex Machina.
Yeah.
And
That dude.
He's writing some TV show right now. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you should read your own website, Chuck. We've reported on all the awards and stuff that they win.
I know.
Yes. I have read a single issue of that book, but it was like issue 8 or 9 or something.
Well, then you're lost.
You have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
That book moves and strains. It like sets its own universe in issue 1. And if you aren't there to figure out the universe, I could see, like, I'm at issue 5, and you got talking TV heads having sex and all kinds of. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I was like, what am I reading?
Yeah, it's some fun stuff. I got to admit. Last big shout out I will give is I absolutely love Greg Rucka's Stumptown series. Once again, I believe from Oni. At least it was at Oni the last time it was.
I think it still is. Yeah.
I think it's still at Oni. Stumptown is amazing. If you like. What was the James Garner series? Rockford Files. It channels every Rockford File vibe I've got. And I know he's a fan of that television series. I know he likes that kind of gritty, hard on your luck cop story. And I have loved every Stumptown. This is volume 3, just with number 1 out so far. And, always kind of a self-contained story, has the same characters carry through, but, I love it. I absolutely can't trumpet that series enough.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's my recommendations.
Very cool.
Sorry, Brant. You said 1 to 2. I
no.
One.
Hey, that's fine. We rarely have you on, so that's cool.
No, I said I had 1 or 2. We didn't put any limits on it.
If you like Greg Rucka, you should try Lazarus from Image. It's a really good series. He writes that.
You know why I've got so many others that I'm reading? Like, I went from having like 11 up to 30. Is I've kind of taken a new policy. Is if a number 1 comes out from like Image or any of these major publishers, I'm trying it. And that has led me to pick up so many freaking side series. I've got to check out Sundowners and what's a Roche Limit. Oddly Normal, God Hates Astronauts, which I know the old stuff there and love it. There's just all kinds of ones. Copperheads waiting in the queue. Yeah. It's getting me out reading some funky stuff, and it's been refreshing.
That's cool. That's one thing I always commend Image for, because every single month they introduce like 6 new series.
Yeah.
And you can always just I think maybe a couple of those each month kind of resonates with me.
Yeah.
I mean, even that's good though. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I heard, like, everybody I was in a really interesting, again, Cincy Comic-Con, I was in a really interesting conversation going on there between some creators, and they were talking about the rise of Image, and a fairly well-known mainstream creator who I won't name, mainly because I can't quite remember who it was, but he made the comment, he says, Image surely shouldn't get credit. They are doing great stories, but he said all they have become is the indie dumping ground for mainstream creators. It's like that's where they go now to do their indie series, and that's where Marvel and DC lets them kind of blow off steam a little bit and get their indie vibe on rather than going in something. I don't know how much I agree with that, but I thought it was at least an interesting point that they raised.
I think. Yeah, go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say there was that mass exodus about a year ago.
Right.
When, all that DC controversy was going on.
Yeah. A much deserved mass exodus.
Yeah. So, pretty much all of them went to Image. And, I was going to say that Oddly Normal book looks really fun, kind of in the vein of Jill Thompson's Scary Godmother or something like that.
Yeah. I remember it was during San Diego, or like right before the Image Expo, they announced all those creators doing those books, and one creator, I think it was Brubaker or something, had a 5 series deal with them or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I can see that point because, like John said, a lot of mainstream creators have gone over there to do stuff, but I still see some stuff coming out from creators I'm not familiar with too.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's entirely true, but I could get where they're coming from.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see an Oni press really take off in a big way. I want to see somebody of that because Oni is, you were right to bring them up, Brian, because they are so underappreciated, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at like Sixth Gun and a lot of things they've got coming out there. They're just such a strong company, and they put us. I mean, hell, that's the origin of Scott Pilgrim. I mean, there's a lot of things that come out of there that are very influential, and I do think they should get more credit. I mean, I wish their titles would really sing.
Yeah, they get really quiet for like 6 months, and then 6 months later they come out with this like huge wave of incredible stuff.
Yeah.
And they get quiet again, and that seems to be their modus operandi is to, I guess, cultivate these really cool kind of boutique series.
Yeah, I mean
and just blow out the industry with them when they pop out.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned Scott Pilgrim, and I know there's been some other properties that have done really big things from them. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
But I remember taking note of them in the past, as well. So
I've got a lot of Oni Press hardbacks of different things they put out over the years sitting over on my shelf. So Courtney Crumrin. For a kid's book, Courtney Crumrin is really strong. It's just a lot of good stuff from them.
Yeah, we should pay more attention to Oni. Everybody listening, go read an Oni book. I've heard good stuff about a series they recently started called Bunker.
Oh wait, no, it's Bunker. Oh yeah, no, I'm not. Bunker's not the one.
I'm not familiar with that one.
No. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I haven't read it, but I've heard good things about it. That's all.
Yeah, cool.
So,
very cool.
Yeah. For me, I've mainly been reading a lot of the Spider-Verse and Futures End stuff. So,
cool.
We've already talked about the Futures End stuff. Oh, Whiteout from Greg Rucka was through Oni.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Book.
You were thinking what?
I was thinking Whiteout was an Image book, but that was through Oni, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And Queen and Country.
Yeah.
So Greg Rucka's Playground was Greg Rucka's Playground was Oni Press for a long time. Death of Wolverine. I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago on the show too. I think the 3rd issue comes out today or yesterday. This week is what I mean. But it's surprisingly really good, and I can't say enough good things about it because I've not been fond of what they've done with Wolverine in the past several years, and his individual books have just not. I don't know. I've not been able to get into them, but this story is really good. It's like classic Wolverine stuff, and he doesn't have his healing factor, and he's trying not to use his claws and stuff, and he's, it's got a lot of subterfuge going on here, and it's really good. I recommend it.
Yeah, he's been up and down over the last year. Really, I mean, since that time when Jason Aaron kind of came on board and took over, and you got like that pain doctor or whatever it was his name was, and came on board. That whole it kind of went down from there. I ended up enjoying him more in things like Wolverine and the X-Men than I did in any of his main titles for a while.
Yeah,
but. I've only stuck with the main title through all this. The main one, just Wolverine. I've not been reading Savage Wolverine at all. But
I would if you're a Charles Soule fan, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
He writes Death of Wolverine.
Oh, nice. Then I'm there. I'm there. There's like almost nothing he's done with. My God, that man's writing everything.
I know.
Holy God, him and Tim Seeley. Although I have to say, Tim cracks me up because it's like Tim's doing all these individual projects that are really strong. But also, have you noticed like Talon and other series, when DC is going to go and end a series, they tend to have Tim write the last issue.
Right.
I've noticed it a couple times popping. Yeah, there's a couple times popping up where Tim will come on board just to kind of close it out or write that final story, and then. But it's usually when they know it's done, and it's just like I guess he's become one of those go-to dependable writers, and he's so strong in a lot of what he does, and so playful. I forget what series. He's doing a series that I just started reading. Maybe it's Sundown. I don't know. It's one of the series.
I think he is doing that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading it last night and was really enjoying it, and he's just such a creative person. But,
yeah, definitely. And I agree with you on Charles Soule. There's hardly anything I've read of his that I haven't enjoyed. And he recently signed, he's still doing some stuff for DC to close things out, but I think he recently signed an exclusive with Marvel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's too bad because I love his Swamp Thing stuff. But,
so he's leaving that and everything else he's doing over there.
If you follow him on Twitter, this is an odd recommendation, but dig back through his Twitter feed, look for a picture of what looks like a handwritten piece of paper. He did a random tweet that just kind of shared his approach to time management. Because he's doing so many different series, and it's like he has a sheet of notes that he actually photographed and included as like a photo attachment on Twitter. And it's just so inspiring in terms of how he looks at time and how he looks at how he paces himself out, and is this activity something I'm doing to refresh myself for pleasure, or is this something that's just going to kill my time, or could I be writing right now instead? And it was something that hit me at a right moment that I needed to hear. And if you follow him on Twitter, because it's fascinating some of the stuff he kicks out.
Awesome. I'm gonna go follow him as soon as we're done with this podcast. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. Another series I've been enjoying. Speaking of DC, real quick. I don't know if you're reading the Batman Eternal. You mentioned it. Yeah. Lately, it's been up and down for me. There's been we talk about this on Frontline. At the beginning, it had it would be good for 2 or 3 issues, then it would be kind of average for 2 or 3 issues, and kind of go back and forth like that. But here lately, they've introduced Hush into the New 52.
Yes.
And it has been so good.
So phenomenal. I agree. And do you notice who is, going back to my earlier point, who is a consulting writer on Batman Eternal?
Tim Seeley.
Yeah, of course. Of course. God, the man is everywhere. He's the new Charles Soule.
Yes.
They must be ready to close that thing down as Tim Seeley's on.
No, well, it is coming to an end here in a few, but no.
Yeah.
And hi Tim, coming to probably both upcoming Charlie-related Comic-Cons. But
he was at the last one, so
he was, yes, yeah. We haven't talked, but he's expressed interest. He likes hanging out with this beer and bourbon drinking guy. So
I actually got his autograph on one of my books while I was at the con.
I've leaned on his shoulder, and he's leaned on mine drunkenly within the last year. So.
There you go.
Yeah, with Mike Norton going, "What are you handing me now?"
Right.
Mike Norton, who told me I'm one of the funnest people he knows to follow on Untapped, the beer tracking app.
Oh.
I open up my Untapped, and you're like all of it.
That's hilarious.
I think Untapped should send you something
You should be
it should be the spokesperson.
Right, exactly.
I love that app. I do.
You'll become the iJustine of Untapped.
There you go. Now, the only thing that is harder for me to track these days than all these comics I'm reading is all the daggone television I'm watching.
I'm telling you.
I have a separate, you've seen my spreadsheet, Brant, for my comics.
Mm-hmm.
John, you have too. It's crazy. Okay, now I had it in Notepad where I was trying to keep track of, okay, what's the next episode I need to find, and what's the next episode that I need to watch. And now that we've had the equivalent of a geek orgasm of television viewing content,
mm-hmm.
I mean, my God. I just keeping track of when all these were debuting between Gotham, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Constantine, What other ones am I missing? Flash, of course, yeah. Arrow, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. Just like, give me a break. I can't keep up.
So you created a spreadsheet?
Yes, to track all the shows. Yeah, what's the last one?
That's hilarious.
I know.
He's very Prussian in that way, very organized.
Oh my God. Because, I have shows that I love that aren't like Blacklist and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and stuff that I'm watching. And one that I got to give a geekly shout out to that may have flown under people's radars. And I thought it was a BBC only series, but it turns out I guess it's a BBC America only original series. But it's called Intruders. Debuted about the same time as the current season of Doctor Who. It's 6 episodes in, stars the guy who played the Master in the modern Doctor Who, and a guy who's been all over Game of Thrones as one of the primary villains. But it's written by some of the same people who did X-Files. It has a very otherworldly... I swear, though, they are ripping off Rachel Rising from Terry Moore, because it has a lot of the same themes you see in Rachel Rising. But phenomenally enjoyable series with, much like Rachel Rising, a creepy little girl serial killer at the center of it. But yeah, it's I've enjoyed every episode. It's one that I go to it pretty quickly when a new one comes out.
Blacklist, you mentioned that. That is something that you turned me on to.
Oh, I love that series.
Yeah, and you were like, you got to try this, and I was like, I'm going to, and I finally dug into it, and I have not been able to get enough of it. I'm like up to episode 18 or 19 of season 1 already.
Yeah. And unlike, it's like you get like 24 episodes a season with that. I love when I get a series as I like that's on main television like that. God. Yeah, and the second season, the first episode, it's getting stronger and stronger.
Nice. I've got them saved and ready to watch.
I love that. James Spader is just killing it as a Hannibal Lecter, type, but an international terrorist kind of Hannibal Lecter guy. He's just he knows everybody. It's like Leverage meets Silence of the Lambs. But I love it.
That's an interesting analogy.
Yeah, that is. I might have to write that one down.
I don't think about these things before I say them. So.
No.
Yeah,
it is a really good show. Yeah.
Okay, so I gave you let me do my. You guys talk. I'm gonna do my count of how many shows I'm currently watching. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh no. I only think I have 5 that I'm
5?
Really...
Oh, I have way more than that.
I have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., of course.
Of course.
I'm also thinking the ones I live tweet. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Gotham, Flash. I will have Constantine when it comes on. I will have Arrow when it comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
So 6. Doctor Who, 7. That's really about it for me that I'm religiously, going after.
Okay, here we go. I got 24 series I'm watching right now. Now, some of them are currently coming out. Some of them are series that have ended that I'm like trying to finish up on Netflix. And I've got 10 that have yet to debut this season.
Okay. I might have you beat. I don't know.
That 10 does count things like Agent Carter, which is coming on down the road, and the Return of True Detectives whenever it comes back and stuff like that. But I've just been I work at home all day, so I'm like gobbling TV on the iPad to my side. Now I got this new desk set up where I have this iPad that sits on a mount right next to my computer, so it's just like, oh my God, it's so easy to watch TV now.
Nice. I don't even know what all I'm watching. I just know it's a lot.
Dude, I will tell you how bad it's gotten. I'm watching Big Brother UK, Big Brother Australia, and Big Brother Africa.
Now that's a sickness right there. There is nothing redeeming about Big Brother.
I have to agree with you.
Those international series are timed almost so one ends just as the next one begins.
So there's always Big Brother.
Pretty much.
Big Brother.
I mean, come on. Like, how do you not get hooked? If you're at all a fan of Big Brother, and I'm not going to harp on this too much, but the Africa one, this one, I mean, it's kind of sad, but that's also funny. They were ready to start, and they had an electrical fire that burned down the house, and they had to delay the start of it for a month because the house they were all going to live in burned to the ground.
Nice.
Now that's drama.
That's crazy.
Yeah, anyway.
I have a list in the other room of all the shows. When the fall premiere came out, I wrote down a list of everything I was going to watch, and I can't go get it right now. But I might rival you there, Chuck. I have to say, because I'm thinking about all the stuff I watch and all the stuff that comes on at the same time on every night. So.
And in the middle of all this, I have this insane plan to watch all of the old Doctor Who. And I'm almost done with season 1 while staying caught up with all these other ones.
That's insane.
And keep in mind that Big Brother Australia and Big Brother UK produce a new show every day.
Every day?
Like here in the US it's 3 times a week, but yeah, UK was 7 days a week, like a 45-minute show. Now I think Australia is only Monday through Friday, but
yeah, they practically show in real time, I think, in the other countries.
Yeah.
They don't get it sure as much as we do.
This is how crazy they are about Big Brother in the UK. They have a single show that airs that's 45 minutes every day. They have a talk show about the show that airs that night that's 45 minutes every day. And one day a week, they show an hour and a half on mainstream television live from the house. That country lives for Big Brother.
Wow.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, so anyway, okay, sorry, off Big Brother.
No, that's
I actually just thought of another show I watched, but I usually save them up on the DVR and watch all of them together.
Which is?
It's a Chris Hardwick series called After Midnight.
Cool, okay.
It's a goof little game show sort of thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, I only have, if you include that, 8 that I religiously follow.
Oh my God, no, I've got such a list. But some of them are going away. Like I'm mourning the loss of Sons of Anarchy after this season. It's gone. Maybe that is the only one I have that's ending. Looking down this list. Hell, I'm even watching NCIS New Orleans because it's got Scott Bakula on it, and I freaking love Scott Bakula. So I almost dumped it after episode 1, but
yeah, that'd be the only reason I'd watch it would be for Bakula.
It is the only reason. There are so many horrible New Orleans tropes in that I almost can't stick with it. But I love Scott Bakula. I watch it like I had a fan come up at Cincy Comic-Con telling me how much of a oh God, what was this series? The time jumping one.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. He was such a Quantum Leap fan. The only thing he really collected were Quantum Leap comics. But he said he loves Quantum Leap so much that he's envisioned in his mind that every other series since then that Scott Bakula has done is a leap that just went long. Enterprise, that is him leaping, and that is just a very long Quantum Leap episode.
That's hilarious.
So we completely threw away the leaping around in his own lifetime thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like 500 years in the future.
Everything. He said, if you really play with the idea, you can almost make it work.
That's true. I'm thinking about there was an arc of Chuck because I've been watching that. There's an arc of Chuck where Scott Bakula plays Chuck's dad, and he comes, he's been in hiding all this time. And he comes you learn he's like a super agent too, and I can see that. I can work him in there.
It was a brilliant concept of just love.
It gives me a whole new take on that episode now.
Yeah, I can only work it in if at some time he said, "Oh boy."
Yeah, exactly. He's going to. But
that's hilarious. I think I'm closer to like 30 when you include stuff that's like Game of Thrones and stuff that's not on right now.
And see, I'm including things like Star Wars Clone Wars that I'm watching on Netflix, and Orange is the New Black, and stuff that's Game of Thrones stuff on. Yeah.
Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm watching so much.
Yep. Yeah. We should really talk more. We got more to talk about, bud.
We should just have a TV episode, just talk about all kinds of stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you are going to be on our Walking Dead one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll
have to
work it out.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And,
did you guys catch? I don't know if you saw on Facebook. I have a whole new angle on Walking Dead. Walking Dead is going to be so freaking beautiful for me this season because my favorite dive bar in my neighborhood is the Vogue, which is like 2 blocks from my house. And it turns out they started this tradition that last year, I guess this channel that airs it twice. Like there'll be like a show in between, then they come on later and air it again.
Right.
And it turns out that on the TV in the bar, they got in the habit last year in that later round when the bar's a little thinner of putting The Walking Dead up and watching it as a bar.
Oh, nice.
So I am going to be watching it with a group of people just down the street every Sunday. Yes!
That's awesome.
Oh man, I've been in that bar too. That's going to be weird.
I know. I love it. Because occasionally we have people in there that are The Walking Dead. So.
Yeah.
That's me up there now. That's funny. So you watched Gotham, right? We were talking about this.
Yeah, I caught both episodes yesterday.
Awesome. What do you think of it? Because John, let me tell you, because I'm sure you haven't listened to last week's Zone 4.
No, I haven't.
With your busy schedule and everything.
Yeah.
Let me just fill you in on our takes on the first episode briefly. John absolutely, fantastically loved that first episode. I was kind of in the middle. I was like, it's better than I expected, but it has room for improvement. So, what did you think of it?
As a series, I love it. I do. It honors the original story just enough, and they're going to be taking big leaps sideways with a lot of this stuff, and especially with the villains. But seeing Ed, Enigma, there as part of the staff in the office, I like the way they're playing with the intermix. Now, where I have my problem is there are characters in this series, the actors who I love, and there are ones that I despise. And I've not had a series that gripped me so much and just one or two that just stood out to me. I live and breathe this series right now for the Penguin. Yep. Robin Lord Taylor as Oswald Cobblepot is phenomenal in this so far. I think he's just incredible. Jada Pinkett Smith, they can't kill Fish Mooney fast enough.
I'm in total agreement with you.
Me too. Stupid name.
She is just overacting every scene, and it's just, get out of here! Yep. It's just pathetic. But the one, and the funny thing is, I want them to kill her, and there's a little character in there called Butch Gilzine, who he is her sidekick, her enforcer. When they have that scene out in the alley where they're beating up Cobblepot in the first episode, and he is just this, hey, how you doing? Welcome to our alley. I'm so good. He won me over from the moment he took to the screen. And he's just, I want to see more of this character. As a secondary, no-name character who really hasn't acted a whole lot, I just thought his kind of, instead of being the stern, just the playfulness of this character was just really fun. Everybody's speculating that the comedian up on stage is going to be the Joker and things like that, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm just enjoying the ride. So far.
I thought the second episode was stronger for me personally. It kind of started winning me over with it. I wasn't sure I was going to like Ben McKenzie as Gordon because I've seen him in other things, and he just, I don't know. He made his name on the OC, and it was just that character that I latched onto. That's who I see every time I see him. But he's kind of winning me over. I like his take on Gordon. He makes him really tough and just and righteous and everything. It's a good take.
And Harvey Bullock, seeing an early version of Harvey Bullock and kind of owning to some of his inappropriate ways that they always reference through the modern Gotham, I like. The one I'm having a hard time with is the person they've cast, not really the actor, but the way he's portraying Alfred. That kind of pissed off butler. That's not an Alfred I've ever seen before.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. That was pretty much it.
No, the first episode I liked him because I liked his wit. The second episode I get your point, and that was my first reaction too. I was like, that's not Alfred. But then I started thinking about, well, maybe this is Alfred, who doesn't know how to raise a child and is trying to learn. And the Alfred we know is when Bruce is already grown. And so I kind of forgave it, but it bothered me too at first.
Yeah.
I think they're drawing heavily on the Michael Caine Alfred for the show. Less, less of the kind of wisecracking Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. Alfred from the cartoon. I really think they're drawing more from the Caine. I'm kind of a former military man.
Right. Which they're integrating more into the series with some of the stuff. With Alfred Penny too, showing up in Batman Eternal lately, and talking about his more twisted past. I also like Carol Kane showing up as.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, Capopoot.
It's Capopoot, not
I am Gutrid Capopoot.
That was funny.
I half expected her to start screaming, "Liar!
Yeah,
Liar!"
She's awesome. I love her in anything she does. She's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm not completely sold on Kat yet. Selena Kyle's character in there. I'll give it time to see. I was a little bit. I thought the first episode was maybe a little stronger than the second one for me, but I think that was just the surprise of feeling this world. I thought the second one was a really good, strong episode, but I thought there were more moments. I love the way that they have succeeded in making the city a character. It does have that kind of retro feel that I wanted to get from it. But it also breaks character a lot, especially in the music. I found that almost a little disconcerting in that, there's moshing music. There's music that is not indicative of the time that the series is supposed to be happening. Like when we go to, the lady whose name shall be not be named, Fish Mooney. When we go to her drinking establishment, her bar, the band on stage is something you would expect more from like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer area than something that would be back in that classic Gotham feel. But it's a minor complaint.
Yeah.
Well,
when Bruce is listening on the headphones, the music just felt wrong for the time period.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's Bruno Heller for you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Also, if you notice, there's always the music montage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
That's a Bruno Heller thing.
Uh-huh.
That was one of my main nitpicks about the first. Well, not main, but it was definitely a nitpick about the setting, because it was very confusing what they were trying to go for, what era they were trying to set it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've decided modern era.
Yeah.
I think they're, even though it does have that kind of retro feel, I think they've gone ahead and, if not modern era, then, recent past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no earlier than the 70s.
Well, they have cell phones, so it's obviously 90s.
Yeah,
so
it's 90s. So,
Right.
So they've pretty much gone for recent era. But I wanted to bring up one discussion that the second episode kind of drew out on Twitter and stuff. The character of the doll maker.
Mm-hmm.
There was also an Arrow character named the doll maker on the show. Now, the Arrow character went after adult women of a certain type. This doll maker had his cute little minions there, who one of them I recognized from that Bruce Willis.
Oh wait, she's Honey Bunny.
Yeah, well, she's Honey Bunny.
Oh,
and
God,
the other
just hit me. That's Honey Bunny. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
From Pulp Fiction. Okay.
Right, and then the other one didn't talk in the Bruce Willis movie. Hudson Hawk, that's what it was.
Yeah, Frank Whaley. He was in Swingers, wasn't he?
Swingtown
or something.
He was in Pulp Fiction also. He was the guy in the room.
Oh.
With the guy when they did the shoot up, and he killed him. He was the one guy who was still left alive in the room.
Yeah, he was the first guy. It's like, did I break your concentration?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were both in Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not Swingers. That's not Swing. The Swing movie.
Swing time.
It was called Swing. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was one of the. At one time, he was trying to look like Bruce Willis. He also tried to look like David Caruso at one point. Mm-hmm. He was a statue at one point, and would hand out cards.
Right.
To convey his thoughts. But anyway, his minions went after large numbers of children.
Yeah.
So there's a discussion of whether this is the same character or not.
Could be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it's not because, the different modus operandi and, serial killers tend to stay.
Different networks, too. But
Fox and CW.
Yeah. But, serial killers tend to stay in their genre.
Yeah, it's true.
What they're into, what pushes them, they tend to stick with.
Yeah.
So,
Swing Kids was the name of that movie.
Swing Kids, that's it, yes.
Couldn't think of the name of it.
That was a good movie.
It was.
Yeah.
Never thought that.
Yeah. So in these first 2 episodes, we've seen Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, maybe but doubtfully Joker. But I love the teases we've had of who's coming. That they're going to introduce, Hugo Strange, Scarecrow, Harvey Dent, Mr. Freeze, Joker, eventually all into these.
Yeah, even Mr. Zaz.
I know. Yeah. That's awesome. It's like we're going to get the whole menagerie. Yeah. And really, if you're going to do a Gotham series like this, you need, I'm excited by Flash, but I'm more excited by the Rogues Gallery coming into this, It's the villains are what makes Batman as beautiful as Batman a character. But,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I do really like the way they're playing Bruce, too. I mean, I was kind of worried it was going to become like, it was, when it was originally announced, it was going to be focused on the GCPD. And then it was like, oh, well, we're going to have all these kid versions of these characters in there. And then you start thinking, oh, my goodness, it's going to turn into, like Flintstone Kids for Gotham,
Right.
Yeah.
Like little Gotham, that one-shot little...
Yeah.
They've done.
Exactly. But they played it where he's just in, a couple of scenes. And here and there, and you just see glimpses of who he's going to become and stuff. And I think the actor playing him is really good, too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that kid is excellent.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
And there was the next episode is called The Balloon Man, but there's a guy walking around with a pig mask. Are they going Professor Pig for?
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, hopefully.
that show's going to get really dark if they do.
That's good. That's one of the creepier characters I've ever seen. I mean,
yeah.
But and it's even creepier when you see somebody cosplaying it at a show. I'll admit, because I've seen that recently.
I've not seen that yet.
Yes.
Oh man. So, what do you guys think about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this season so far?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I'm waiting for it to explode again for me. I feel like it's rebooting in a way, in a nice way. I like where it's headed. I really liked in episode 2 the relationship between the kid scientist,
Fitz and
the new guy,
yeah,
and the interplay of the missing character and the fact that she's turning up in the next episode and everything. I mean, I like that there's enough. There's a lot of tease of drama to come in it, certainly. Yeah. And of course, what's his name? God, I don't know these character names at all. The one who's locked down in the basement, who's now become the Hannibal Lecter of the series.
Yeah. Agent Ward. Yeah.
Ward. Absorbing Man was awesome. I thought they did an incredible job with the character. Shield, the Tumblr for the Shield program, ran a repeating GIF of that bullet hitting him in the head in slow-mo. Yeah. And I ran that on our Tumblr feed on CR.
I saw that.
That was such a beautiful moment in the show. But,
it's that... The Absorbing Man, it was just fantastic. I love the way that they handled that. They couldn't have done it better.
They were so subtle about it, calling him,
Yeah, Creel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that one character went this absorbing.
Oh yeah, I think Lucy Lawless coined
the Lucy Lawless character, who I don't believe is spoilers.
Yeah, you don't
spoilers.
Believe she did?
I don't believe she's dead.
No, I don't either.
That's crazy if she is though.
I actually told her on Facebook or on Twitter that she wasn't allowed to be dead.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be dead yet. Get back up here.
Oh man, it's an interesting series. I mean, I gotta ask you, Chuck, when you watched the first episode of this season, because John saw it right away, I was totally surprised. Did you get that Simmons wasn't actually there?
I did not at all. Not until they revealed it.
I got it.
That was definitely a moment that took me by surprise. So I did not see it coming.
We all watched it on Frontline Live that week, and as it was airing, and we just all collectively went, no, what?
I got it because she didn't interact with anyone else.
I didn't catch it. I wasn't paying attention. I guess, well, I mean, we were talking while we were watching it too. So
yeah.
But even then, I don't think I would have gotten it.
I've let my I See Dead People guard down a few years ago, I guess, because I totally missed it. But I love a couple standout moments. I mean, when Coulson did his treatment, that was a really cool moment. The drawing on the wall stuff. I also, of course, General, is it Talbot? Talbot's the one. Yeah,
Talbot. Glenn Talbot.
Yeah, I love that actor from back in the Hero days all the way forward. Yeah. But Glenn Talbot, I love that moment with the jets and the coming out of Invisible, and that was a nice little. I live for Marvel fist pump moments, and that was definitely one of them. And I felt that little charge that got me excited. You know,
the Quinjet and the bus both have capabilities now, so
just awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Especially when you do so much tease to, the cloaking technology and working towards the cloaking technology. It's little play in the series. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool that you were saying with the guy's name is Mac. Character's name is Mac, which I didn't remember. But, I was saying during live tweet, luckily he speaks Fitz.
Yeah.
Because, he's like, I didn't solve this today. Mm-hmm. Meaning that he had solved it in the past. So, it was a really nice interlude there.
Yeah, I agree. What they did to Fitz really frustrated me in the first episode. I didn't like that. And I like that in the second episode, they gave this little hint of him coming out of his shell, and they made the fact that I was uncomfortable, didn't like it in the first episode, pay off in the second, and pay off quickly and in an emotional way where it made me care about the character and gave me a new interplay with another character. So I thought, okay, you guys made me uncomfortable and you made me kind of a little pissed off about something, but you resolved it in a way that gave me a lot more payback because of the emotional resonance I had from episode 1.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we knew he was going to be brain damaged, but, didn't know the how badly or how deeply.
Yeah.
After he and Simmons escaped the little water,
right.
Their watery death scene.
It's interesting because they were, two of my favorite characters from the first season. Their interplay between Fitz and Simmons together.
Yeah.
It was just fun and funny at times and just, very cute. And to see that total change in him kind of broken, I thought was very interesting. And I like his interaction with Mac and seeing the previews for next week.
Yeah.
And how Simmons is going to come back is very interesting. I'm curious to see what they're doing there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's he's very well acted. I think his acting in portraying the brokenness and the frustration he's feeling is really coming through in a nice way. I think he's doing a great
if they don't
job.
get an Emmy this time, there's something wrong. Yeah. But I really like the kind of interplay between Skye and May right now. How Skye's kind of become a mini May.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah. It was just go ahead.
No, I totally got to derail when we're done with this. So you guys, don't let me derail yet.
Okay, that's fine. One thing I did want to mention, there was a little bit of news about it. White Collar's Tim DeKay is joining the cast, and I'm a White Collar fan. I like the show, so he's a good actor.
I've never watched it, but I've seen him in other stuff, and I always liked him as an actor. So
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see him on there. He's gonna be Senator Maynard Ward, which is the older brother of Agent Ward.
Oh, cool.
So that's gonna be interesting.
That is gonna be interesting.
The abusive.
Yes,
older brother.
the abusive older brother.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah, he was abusive. So
interesting.
Okay.
And the only other thing, a little bit of news that I caught, which kind of ties into both S.H.I.E.L.D. and the movieverse, is Adrienne Palicki, who's going to be Mockingbird on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's like episode 5. IGN was interviewing her, and they asked her, about being in the Avengers, and she was like, yeah, that's something we definitely talked about. We'll just have to wait and see, what happens.
Oh, nice.
So that would be cool.
That would be a nice drop. Yeah, especially I'd love to see that relationship with Hawkeye in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That'd be a nice dichotomy, too, because, if you paid attention during Winter Soldier, Black Widow Black Widow had, that arrow necklace on, indicating maybe some sort of relationship there. So
Nice.
So what were you going to derail with?
Well, I wasn't sure. I'm not so sure I want to now. But Grant, let me just ask, Brand, are you watching Doctor Who?
No.
Okay. Yeah. And John and I have different opinions on the current season of Doctor Who.
Yes, we do, actually.
But if you're not into it, then I'll pass.
You can talk about it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm thrilled by the new Doctor, and I know John isn't that keen on him, so we're like on different edges of the spectrum on this one, which is weird.
Because I just haven't warmed to him.
Yeah.
And yet, by complete dichotomy, you never warmed to Tennant.
Yeah,
so.
No, not at all. Yeah. Yeah, I never did, but I definitely this one I love, and it's more. And I agree with you, John. Some of the stories have been up and down. Yeah. I know. In retrospect, they haven't always been the strongest this season. They've been enjoyable at the time for me, but I really think it's Capaldi that's pulling me through the series right now. I just love him, and especially the interplay with the companion this time.
Yeah.
I think you could actually argue the Doctor may be the companion a little bit this season.
Oh, a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But my thing for him is they're trying to make him quirky and funny, and he's not.
Yeah, no. I like him when he's angry and evil. I like that they're playing at the fact that he can't. This season, one of the recurring themes right now is he can't figure out whether he's a good guy or a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
And quite literally, there was a scene in one of the early episodes where they've been shrunk down and they're inside a Dalek, and they are like going through because they've discovered one that may actually be good, but the Dalek has these internal robot antibodies that can kill, and they're all standing and they can't move. And the Doctor looks over to one of the three and goes, here, take this and hold it up in front of them or something like that. And the thing immediately kills the guy. And basically the Doctor's like, one of us had to go.
Wow. Okay.
There are some dark moments going on here.
Yeah.
It's like and you know me, and I think that's what's resonating so much with the season for me is I love the redemptive villain. I love if he decides he's evil and figures out partway through the series that, oh wait, I'm actually kind of a good guy, or struggles with it all season. That's going to make this one of my favorite seasons of Doctor Who of all time. Because I love that human emotion of, am I a good guy or am I a bad guy? And it was very early, I think it was like second episode or something, he sat down and with the companion who knew the previous Doctor and had this beautiful conversation with her where he said, I need you to be completely honest with me. Am I a good man? And they had this well, kinda was her answer. It's just fascinating.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I watched the Day of the Doctor thing, and I watched a few episodes of Matt Smith, and I like Matt Smith. I liked his portrayal, so when they announced this guy, I was like, I don't know. It was kind of cool when they did. They had all 13, and everything. So I don't know. I may eventually watch it, but
I love hearing about it. Matt Smith era. I watched that in a marathon run because I really got burnt out on Doctor Who, and I stopped for a while. And it was like just a couple weeks before the premiere of the new season. I burnt through all the old Matt Smith, and that I loved those last episodes as much as I was getting tired of the hey, look at me, I'm the crazy Doctor. I was thrilled, and especially the Tom Baker moment in that anniversary edition. I cried because that's my Doctor.
Yeah, it was sweet. The thing with Capaldi, if he's going to be your curmudgeon, like Pertwee, was just an ass sometimes,
Grandpa in this first season isn't all that.
That too. Let him be your curmudgeon. Quit trying to make him goofy and silly and stuff. Like the Robin Hood episode was just ridiculous. And it was such it's like, which old Doctor Who episode did you take this from? Because it looks like one of those very early ones where it was obviously a kid show.
Yeah.
And they were playing it for kids. It looked like one of those. And, it was just kind of ridiculous. And, it's just it seems to me they're not sure what they want to do with him.
Right.
It seems to me that they're not quite set on having an older guy, they're having him do stuff that they would have one of the young guys do.
Yeah.
Like Smith or Tennant, he's still doing stuff like one of the young guys would do. He's not a young guy. He's an old guy. He should be like grumpy and shouldn't be running and, all this other stuff that happened in the old Doctor or the most recent Doctor stuff. It should be like, stand your ground, be angry, be mean, and deal with things that way.
Right. Right.
So, that's just my opinion, so.
I agree. No, I actually liked the playfulness of that episode, but I agree. It got weak. I liked the first 15 minutes, and then it got weak after that, in my opinion. But
yeah, whipping out a spoon to fight against a sword, that was...
But that was such a nice throwback to the movie.
It was quirky, yeah. It was quirky, but,
carve your heart out with a spoon.
Exactly, and if he had said that, I would have loved it.
That would have been awesome, yeah. But I'll tell you the level of crazy dedication I've got with Doctor Who right now. Like, I'm watching my way through the first season, and Marco Polo, which was a 7-part, and half an hour each part, 7 parts, that's a lost episode, so that no actual footage is known to exist.
Oh, yeah.
So they had the audio, Brant, and they had still photos from production, and they went through and they run the audio and they put still images up, and then they put little notes about what would be happening in the scene. I sat through all 7 episodes and watched.
Oh, wow.
Just so I could have the completism of having watched that in the order it happened. But.
Well, I still beat you because I have a TARDIS on my arm.
Oh, God, yes. No, yeah.
Well, so it's quite a big TARDIS, too.
Yeah. It takes up most of my forearm.
It does.
That's what David Tennant said. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
It's thicker on the inside. Pants.
Oh, man. Oh, so Brant, we'll leave Doctor Who in the timey-wimey space. Where else are we headed, bud?
Okay. Going back to an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tie-in there.
Oh, yeah.
The Agent Carter series, which we did get to see Haley Atwell in the the Howling Commandos at the first part of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Dominic Cooper is returning as Howard Stark in the TV show, and of course he played Howard Stark in the first Captain America movie.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that series. I love Dum Dum in that. I love the whole take they had on that. I have not seen the little short, I think, where they were introduced. Was it a DVD outtake or webisode?
Yeah, it was on YouTube now, I think.
Yeah, it was a DVD extra though.
Yeah, I need to go and check that out. But I loved what I saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they kind of played with them there.
Yeah, and I love how in that first in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. how they referenced her kind of founding or co-founding S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right? Yeah. And should I know what that metal is that we're playing with in the series? Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think they said.
Okay. You think it's what?
I don't think they said what.
No. I just thought I feel like there should be some Marvel reference point. But
I don't know. They just said it was the first.
Adamantium, but Yeah.
Well, we had that staff or whatever that powered people up last season, which is kind of a throwback to the staves that powered up all like the Thing and Juggernaut and them in the Marvel universe. But I don't know if it relates to that. It kind of lights up like that. Those Thor hammers did, but I don't know.
Yeah. They did say it was like the first
power. So.
Oh, sorry. What?
No, it was messing up Absorbing Man's power, and he actually sort of became Projecting Man.
Yeah.
He turned a couple of different people to stone. Well, turned one person to stone, someone else to steel.
Yeah.
The waitress turned her into, I think, a Teflon pan or something. Whatever he had touched right before turned her into that.
I'm sure there's some website out there that has some kind of theory about it, but I don't know. I think all they referenced in the show was that it was like the first artifact of that kind of thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
So.
I got derail number 2 when you're ready for it. I got derail number 2.
Okay. Go ahead.
No? Okay, derail number 2. John, you haven't gotten around to watching True Detective yet, have you?
No, sir.
Okay, Brant, have you watched it?
I've watched 3 episodes of the first season, yeah.
And, I absolutely loved it, but have you heard who they're casting for season 2?
I did, but I cannot remember who now.
I cannot. It's a strange mix.
Yeah.
Strange mix. Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell and
yeah.
Vince Vaughn are going to be the two detectives in season 2, which is just such a twist on McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. But
yeah, totally different.
I'm totally intrigued by what they do there because I love. That's still probably one of my favorite series, the favorite viewing experiences I've had in the last 4 or 5 years on television.
Actually, that's kind of funny. We were talking about Vince Vaughn last show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were. I don't remember why, but we were.
And
no, go ahead, John.
Oh, just for fans of True Detective, check out a recent episode of Radio Lab that has to do with nihilism and the strange road that a lot of the philosophy of Matthew McConaughey's character took. He wrote a book about kind of the nihilism, the end of existence and things like that, and how everything is like depleting. And his book, the cover got made into a T-shirt that's turned up in music videos, and it's like Into the Dust of the Earth or something like that. But it also has ties into True Detective. If you like True Detective, it's a fascinating little aside into some of the philosophy that's behind that show. Cool. There we go.
And
I like throwing my tidbits out there.
The reason we got off on Vince Vaughn is because I think I said something towards the effect of I've never seen him in a serious movie where he was any good.
Yeah.
It was only comedies that I've seen him in, and I think both Ron and Gordon were like, no, check out this.
Oh, I was too. I give you several.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you want to see a really great serious role of his, you got to check out Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
Yeah. Okay.
So serious. And sadly, I've seen that movie more times than I really should.
Yeah, me too.
Because I watch it every time I see it come on television.
Pretty much.
I actually have never seen it.
Wow, I have. I think maybe Ron actually might have mentioned True Detective, and that's where I'm.
Yeah, I think that's where
he might have. Yeah.
Okay.
See, I had heard a rumor, and I had wished they went this way. I heard that they were going to tap a couple of females.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Yeah. Is that what they're just going to change it up every season?
It's every season it's completely different. Gotcha. It's a standalone story, standalone key actors. It's just the one concept is True Detective stories, and that's it. Yeah. And it could be anything. So
okay.
Last 2 won Emmys for it, so the bar is set pretty high.
Oh, yeah. No, my God, Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson in that role. That's some of the best I've ever seen. They were just amazing to me.
McConaughey looks so different in that.
I know. My God.
I think he's still putting weight back on from that movie where he was playing someone who was dying of AIDS.
Yeah, the Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
Which, what a phenomenal movie, but what a reprehensible character he played in that, man.
Yeah, I heard about it. I haven't seen it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. He will always be the guy in Dazed and Confused for me, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
No matter how old I get, they just keep getting younger. I don't know, some line. Crazy. Time to Kill.
Oh.
Time to Kill is my favorite Matthew McConaughey movie of all time.
I love Sahara. I am a huge Sahara. Wait.
Oh, wow. No.
It's Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is McConaughey. It's McConaughey and Steve Vaughn.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that.
No, it's based on the Dirk Pitt novels by, famous writer. I can't think of the name. But anyway, it was supposed to be a franchise, but it got so universally panned. That, that kind of killed it. But I thought it was a good little movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Chance, it's worth to watch.
I'm just thrilled that he got out of that 2001 to 2009 period of, hey, I'm going to be a romantic comedy star. What a waste of a good talent, in my opinion. The Wedding Planner, Guy in 10 Days, Failure to Launch. Oh, God.
I'll agree with you, but I did like The Wedding Planner, actually.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. I do like that movie. I like Jennifer Lopez, though, so.
I was about to say, you just like J-Lo.
Well, I do.
Have you seen the video she just put out?
I have.
The booty thing.
Yeah, I have.
Good Lord, my man.
Good Lord, hide the children.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. This, one more news item that I found. I think John would be very happy with this one. Netflix and Arad Animation announced original animated series Kong, King of the Apes.
Yeah.
Kong looks so cute.
He does.
Has anybody seen any of the modern Kong movies? I mean, I feel like I'm missing out because everybody says they're great.
I saw the Peter Jackson one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Were in there too? Or are they just the sequels still coming out or whatever?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
It's just the one, I think. Okay. Just the Peter Jackson one.
I know there was a sequel.
Godzilla, but...
No, I think didn't they talk about it at they're coming out with Skull Island. That's what it is.
Skull Island. Yeah, it's still coming out. It hasn't come out.
Okay, it's by the same people that made Godzilla. They're making...
Yeah, it's pre-King Kong. It's going to be like a King Kong origin story, supposedly.
Oh, wow. Well, speaking of Godzilla, did you guys see that there was a YouTube video out there where a guy compiled all of the appearances of Godzilla in the Godzilla movie, and it was like 7-minute long video? And basically, Godzilla only had like 7 minutes screen time in all of the Godzilla movie.
Wow.
It's true. I watched the movie.
Oh.
It's like, and he never interacted with Walter White. The guy who played Walter White in Break.
Yeah. And a large chunk of the movie, even in the 7 minutes, I watched the 7 minutes. A large chunk of that was just like you'd see him on television screens or on monitors. Yeah, it's just like I couldn't believe how little he was actually in the Godzilla movie.
That's crazy.
I watched that movie. It was such crap.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, it was horrible.
I have not seen it.
And the best shot you get of Godzilla is at the very end.
Oh, wow.
They think he's dead. You know, all these rescue workers are around him, I guess, trying to figure out what we're going to do with this giant body.
Uh-huh.
He gets up, roars, walks into the ocean. Fade to black. Wow. Fade to black, into movie.
My only love of Godzilla, I mean, I know there's some people in our culture that are just, in the geek culture, that just live and die by Godzilla. And I admit I watched some Godzilla, but my main thing was Godzuki. I loved Godzuki.
And Godzuki.
Yeah, Godzuki was awesome.
Oh, man.
I wanted a little Godzuki for like a brother, you know?
That's funny. This, I'm sorry to derail and go back.
Derail back.
But yeah.
Important things.
No. This is an interesting concept on this CGI thing. I guess because it's a Netflix, it's going to be on Netflix. I don't know. Maybe.
Probably. I would assume.
Yeah, but it's set in 2050, and they've turned Alcatraz into a natural. What is it? I just read it. Natural History and Marine Preserve, and that's where Kong is.
Mm. Alcatraz Island is not that big.
No, it's not.
He can sit on Alcatraz.
So, okay.
Yeah. I mean, he could sit on Alcatraz and dangle his feet in the ocean. Yeah. It's not that big.
Yeah.
That's weird. So
that is odd.
Cool. Has anybody caught any of BoJack Horseman?
I have no idea what you just said.
It's a Netflix original animated series that's out right now. He's a washed up horse star who basically it's like they're all anthropomorphic and like animals are just like people in the series and people are in the series. But he's like this alcoholic, washed up horse who was like an old, you know, like in the 60s he was Mr. Ed, and now it's him trying to get a job in Hollywood in his later years. And I have not actually watched a ton of it, but Jenny was watching it and got kind of hooked on watching the first series, and I watched a little over her shoulder. And that is one Netflix is willing to go in some strange directions. I will tell you that. I respect that.
That is absolutely
never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the, Marvel stuff to pop up, but I've never heard of that.
What was that, Hemlock Grove? That was some weird stuff.
Oh, yeah, I heard that was great.
I've not seen that at all.
It's weird. It's a weird take on the supernatural genre.
Yeah. I do like the person who was reviewing BoJack Horseman on the New York Times website said he never thought he'd have a series where his young child would come up to him and say, "Daddy, do dogs really date humans and have sex with them? And if so, how?"
Oh, goodness, yeah.
If so, how? Wow.
I love how he had it if so how.
I wanted to make sure I had the name of the series right, and I was glancing at this article that they've written about it. That's just a funny line from it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Kind of disturbing, but
yeah.
That's my second oh my of the day. Oh my.
Oh man.
It's Will. Do you know Will Arnett?
Yeah.
He plays the drunken horse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't know, Netflix? Yeah, that was okay. Netflix. I've been in Texas too long.
You've been in Texas.
Netflix is, they do some good stuff. I enjoyed their programming.
Yeah.
So, can't wait for the Marvel stuff either, though. But we should start wrapping up. It is getting...
Oh, God, yeah, we got 10 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
2 of the 3 have to head out unless you want to keep doing this show by yourself, bud.
No, that's okay.
Zone 1.
Yeah. So we should go into the part where we go around the table and see what everybody has coming out, and going on. Chuck, what you got?
Derby City's Cavalcade of Comics coming November 22nd to Louisville, Kentucky. February 28th, Derby City. I thought I should rename it Derby City Comic-Con North, but it's still called Queen City Comic-Con. That is coming to the Shermo Convention Center in Cincinnati, February the 28th, and June 20th, 1st, and 22nd, the ever larger Derby City Comic-Con returning to Louisville's Kentucky International Convention Center. As far as me personally... I do this podcast called the Charlie Tonic Hour. Find it at charlietonic.com. I do everything on social media too much, too often. And basically, I have rediscovered the Xbox in the last week and am losing my life to things like Titanfall and Diablo 3. And I had to be told to go to bed last night. So there you go. And I haven't been told to go to bed in a long daggone time. But whoever you are, Wasted Burning Forest 67, who I played Headhunt with in Titanfall for 3.5 hours on Friday. Next time, your ass is mine. Okay.
Absolutely love it.
Call that. Wow.
Called him out. You heard it here. I'm gonna if I can find like a at on Twitter or something.
You know, the funny thing is, I did make that name up because I can't. The name is close to that. I can't remember exactly, but there was this one in Titanfall. If you are playing, once you join a group of 10 people, when the match ends, it goes through like a queue sequence where you can watch other people play. But after a few minutes, you go into your next match, and unless you drop out, all the people who are in your prior one continue with you. Mm-hmm. So if you get a group of people you kind of enjoy playing with, that's why I was stuck for like 3.5 hours on Friday night last weekend playing into the morning, because I really enjoyed playing with these people, and the longer you play, you kind of stay with them and you get to know who you're playing with. And that's an experience I've never really had on Xbox before, and it was a blast.
Awesome.
So anyway, yeah.
Very cool. I want to get back into gaming.
God, I'm digging it, and I haven't been a gamer in years. So.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, Jenny the other night, she says, I'm kind of scared that I'm now living with a gamer.
You think Comic-Cons are bad, Jenny? Wait till you go to a gaming con.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go to PAX next year.
Although I do have to admit, because I got the Xbox for my birthday, and I got to tell you, there's no experience. Like, I knew what I was getting because my mom bought it for me, and it was a very nice present from her. But the kids didn't know it, and to have 2 kids who are like, it's a birthday party, yay, we love Chuck and everything. And when that Xbox opened, and the screams and the dancing, and Toby literally had this like cardboard tube, and he was banging himself on the head with it. He was so excited because he could not believe it. And then I opened up Titanfall, which he spent all of C2E2 playing, and I've got photos of him like talking smack with Deadpool and a guy in a Deadpool costume during it. It's hilarious. When he saw Titanfall was here, and then we picked up Minecraft over the weekend, and he's just been giddy. So.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one other kid moment I got to share, and sorry, I'll get out of the way. But he was downstairs playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare on the old Xbox, and it had a forced update, and those forced updates can take a while. Mm-hmm. And he comes running up through the house. He's like so excited. He's like, I got a forced update, and I got another Xbox that I can play while I wait. And I just see him run through the house into the room where the Xbox One is, and it's just like it's on fire. He's so giddy.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Okay, sorry, I'm out of the way. I'm out.
No, it's good. John, what about you?
I'm a little scared for this 15-year-old kid probably that Chuck just called out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I finished all the character design work for my friend's children's book, but like I said, she's assistant principal right now, so who knows when she's actually going to get to the book itself, so, that's constantly on hold. I've put up 2 of the 3 teaser images that I want to do for The Woman in Red, the public domain character that I'm kind of resurrecting. Also in that vein, Brant made the mistake of showing me a page that Pro Se Productions is looking for writers, and two of their concepts really interest me, so I'll be pursuing that here very soon as well. I swear to the people at Random House I will get these book reviews done someday. They were very kind to send me some art books. One of them I've had half done for about a month now. So I swear to you I'll get them done soon.
And I want to interject, I would like to send the same shout out to Scholastic Books. I have also several that I need to talk to you about and get that covered, so I apologize with John on this front.
Yes, indeed. Let's see, other than that, I am coloring New Comic Day, which you can see every week, maybe occasionally on a Wednesday, sometimes not, on Comic Related.
It went up on Wednesday, just very, very, very late.
When it's Wednesday in Japan, maybe. Let's see, then, of course, all that stuff Chuck just said, I'll be at every one of those events.
Yay!
And beyond that, of course, doing stuff for the Mighty Comic Related every day, as will my 2 partners here, 8 to 16 times a day, 365 days a week, and all that happy jazz.
365 days a week?
Yeah, that. Because that's what it seems like
it
sometimes.
Does feel like it sometimes. 10 years is one strong.
Yep, and then beyond that, I think that's everything I got.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I forget.
You forget what...
I forget what I'm supposed to be doing half the time.
And keep an eye out for me in New York Comic-Con. I'll be running around the show, dodging any SARS cases that are out there, but doing my best to... I will not be shaking hands this time.
You're not bringing your Ebola to this con.
Yes,
so, yeah, Ebola. What, SARS. Boy, I'm like a decade back, aren't I?
That was like...
Oh, man.
That was a good 10 years ago, speaking of flashbacks.
Yeah, I'll take some avian bird flu while I'm at it. Thank you very much.
All right, so for me, not too much this week. The New Comic Day Kickstarter, as you're hearing this, has only got a few days left, so if you plan to support it, please head over there and do so. We appreciate it if you do. John and I, of course, both work on it, so you're helping us as well. So to be able to put this book out, so that's awesome. Let's see, Henchman 2 is hopefully wrapping up this week. I keep talking about it like it's almost done, but we are in the...
It's almost there.
Yeah, we're in the lettering stage, so it's very, very close. I'm resuming work on Assailant Comics projects this week. Open Tree 2 is coming out soon. Let's see if I get all the issues right. Binary Gray 9, be working on that next week, and Black of Heart number 4, I think, is after that. So lots of stuff coming up from Assailant. Not New Comic Day. On Comic Frontline this week, I'll be reviewing Guardians 3000, which is Guardians of the Galaxy 3000. First issue, it comes out this week, so I'll be taking a look at that. I know I'm forgetting something. Let's see. Soon I will be playing the Batman Arkham games on Frontline Gaming Zone, which is the gaming channel that Chris recently started up. Just because. I've never played them before, so I want to play them. So.
Awesome.
There you go. And I think that's it for me for this week. And if I forget anything, sorry, I'll cover it next week. So there you go. So Chuck, you want to read us out?
Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me get over to the show notes.
Okay.
I'm clicking around CNN and figuring out things about Big Brother. What are you talking about? Am I going to listen to you guys?
He has to find Big Brother Nicaragua.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Hey, Africa's next. Get them in order. Get them right. Okay.
Don't infect us with your illness.
We'd like to thank John. We'd like to thank the official bands of Zone 4, the Ray Wall Band and Society's Plague, that you hear on the show each and every week. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for us, you can email us at zone4@comicrelated.com. And by us, I mean pretty much Brant, because I don't pay attention to that. We are proud members of the Comic Related Podcast Network. And as always, we thank you for listening, and you are now leaving Zone 4.
Run for your lives.
SARS.
Run before you catch Big Brother.
This is only a test for the X-Men.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production. Bonk!